a quick review of the anatomy and physiology. So we have several digestive organs that work together in helping us break down foods. And those are the liver, the gallbladder, small intestine, and pancreas here are of most importance. The gallbladder is kind of hidden behind the liver here, and then through the common bile duct empties its contents, which is bile, into the small intestine. And then the pancreas here is also closely related, and the pancreas releases digestive enzymes as well as insulin and glucagon to help us with our blood sugar regulation. But in terms of digestion, the pancreas is in charge of releasing the enzymes that help us break down proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. In terms of the pathophysiology here, so to develop gallstones, there's an altered balance of bile salts and calcium, which leads to increased cholesterol in the system, and then that cholesterol forms stones in the gallbladder that then can obstruct this common bile duct over here. Now, when it's obstructed, then the bile cannot be released into the small intestine, and then things back up, which make the gallbladder inflamed, leading to cholecystitis. And overall, the gallstones also cause a change in the composition of the bile, which then makes the stones more likely to recur. So once you've had gallstones, unfortunately, you're more likely to develop them again. And then for cholecystitis, so the actual inflamed gallbladder, other risk factors include immobility, prolonged periods of fasting, as well as patients who are on TPA for prolonged periods of time, and diabetes. And once the gallbladder becomes inflamed, it is again more likely to recur, and then it becomes scarred, which decreases the function because the scarred organ just can't function the way it usually would. And then again, the patient is usually more likely to develop gallstones or gallbladder disease again.